Alright, on this next set of videos we're going to go over the exponent rules. Some of these will be review, some of these will be new. So let's start with the ones that should be review. So when we add and subtract monomials, you just combine like terms. Do not change the variables, do not change the exponents, okay? We're just add and subtract the coefficients. So like this one, 10x plus 3x, they both have x's. 10 plus 3 is 13, so that's 13x. Now on this one, 7k minus 2k squared plus 6k squared, they all have k's, but these ones both have k squared. Those are the only ones I can combine. Negative 2 plus 6, which is 4k squared. And then we cannot combine this because this is just a regular k, because that's really k to the 1. So it's just plus 7k. And then the last one, negative 5m squared n minus 4m squared n. Once again, don't change the letters or the exponents, just look with the numbers. Negative 5 and negative 4, which is negative 9. And then it's still m squared n. That should be a review. We just did it on the bell work. Now, let's get to some of our other rules. So we'll start out with the zero exponent rule. Any number, letter, value raised to the zero exponent gives you a value of 1. So if we have 12 to the 0, that is 1. 5 times x to the 0, that is 5. And here's why it's 5. X to the 0 is 1. And then 5 times 1 is 5. Negative 2 to the third times n to the 0. Remember, n to the 0 is 1. Negative 2 to the third, so negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is negative 8. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Anytime you see something raised to the zero exponent, the value is always 1. Alright, so next, let's move on to the negative exponents. Now, whenever you have a negative exponent, this just literally means the opposite of something being raised to the power. So the opposite would be flipping that fraction. So when you see negative exponents, I want you to flip under the fraction. So x to the negative a is equal to 1 over x to the a. Because if this was a fraction, it would be over 1, right? So if we flip it, the exponent would become positive. So this one, 3 to the negative 2, would be the same as 1 over 3 to the second. And we know 3 times 3 is 9, so that would just be equal 1 over 9. Now you can do this with letters as well. So a to the negative 7 is just 1 over a to the 7th. Now, if we knew what a was, if it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, negative 3, whatever, we could get an actual solution. But since it's just a letter, we got to leave it with the letter. Now on this one, be careful, this is a positive and this one's a negative. So this p to the 4 is still on the top, and then on the bottom is just going to be q to the 1. So this is negative exponents. Just think flip under the fraction when you see a negative exponent. Now, let's do the product rule. The product rule, if you have x to the a times x to the b, so the bases have to be the same, you add the exponents. So this would be the same as x to the a plus b. So here's our first example. 9 to the 5 times 9 to the 7, which would be the same as 9 to the 5th plus 7. 5 plus 7 is 12, so that's the same as 9 to the 12th. Now on this one, be careful because we have some positives and negatives. The rule is still the same. You just add them when it says to multiply your exponents. So a to the 7th times a to the negative 1, that's going to be a to the 7 plus negative 1. B to the 3rd times b to the negative 5, that would be b times, b to the 3 plus negative 5. Now when we combine this, a to the 7 plus negative 1, well 7 plus negative 1 is 6, so we would get a to the 6th. Now when I add 3 plus negative 5, I get negative 2. So that b is going to go on the bottom, and instead of negative 2, it'll flip over to positive 2. So this one we had to combine our negative rule as well. Negative 2 times 9, now this time we have coefficients, you're just going to multiply the coefficients to start. So that's negative 18. Now we've got x to the 3 times x to the 4th, so x to the 3 plus 4, because we just add those exponents. Y to the 7th times y, which would be y to the 7 plus 1, because there were 7 here, there's only 1 there. X to the 3 plus 4 is 7. So this becomes negative 18 times x to the 7th, and y to the 7 plus 1, which is 8, y to the 8th. So there's our answer for that one. I'm going to stop the video here. We've got 2 more rules to learn.